couldn't find the button.
Your finger was not on the button.
Recording live from three locations? It's not really a question.
It's a question of where we exist in time and space.
This is past the rock. Then it's definitely three locations. I am Patrick, and as always, I'm joined by two great men. Caesar Delay LCs.
You're probably hearing this 3 or 4 seconds after I've already said it out of my mouth.
Maybe. Who could prove it? And Jacob, a.k.a. Bethke.
Again, time is, okay. You know what? I'm just going to keep moving through this because there's nothing funnier than the images that everyone's going to see.
That was a man-made construct.
Exactly.
I believe what Douglas Adams said was, time is an illusion, lunchtime doubly so. And from that non sequitur, we're just going to head straight into what will be the first quarter this week. As I vamp and pull down my rundowns once again, we're going to talk some hockey. It's game one of the Western Conference Finals is happening while we record right now. If you just see my eyes staring far away from the camera, that's because I am watching hockey as we record. And I'm happy to be watching hockey because the Dallas Stars are back in the Western Conference Finals. Third straight year. Got past the Jets after some fun stuff. It was close, but not really close to a series.
They should have finished it out and didn't, really, right?
Yeah, they played like absolute crap up in Winnipeg in Game 5, but it could work out better in the long run because it just meant Miro got some more time to warm up for this. So
very true.
And that's probably the big news is Miro came back. Stars move on to the third straight Western Conference Finals. We are at full strength. This is full strength. This is the exact team that we've wanted to have on the ice. And they're here, and they're playing.
And then some, obviously, because this thing has gotten bigger and better this year. Obviously.
Absolutely. But I just mean, like post-trade deadline, this was the team we wanted to have competing.
For the third straight year, I ask you, will they blow it up if this doesn't work?
No. Mostly because they can't.
No, at this point, I think they pretty much
built
what
they built. No one's taking the big money guys. It's interesting to see what happens with Ben. I'm sure he'll re-sign, but the question is how much of a discount is he going to take, given his lack of production, to help the rest of the team? We'll see. I imagine he'll take a lower
Does he want
amount.
a statue?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I imagine he'll take a lower amount so he can hang out.
Ask Dirk what he did for his.
And help out Wyatt become the next guy. And then Tyler's a question too. You know, some people would say to trade him, no one's gonna. I can't imagine anyone would take him at his $16 million or whatever stupid number he's at next year, with the fact that his hip and back could go out at any second. So we're kind of locked in at this point.
But it's okay because the nostalgia is still on their side as long as there's other younger players, cheaper players carrying their weight.
Yeah, and obviously those guys are going to start coming up, and it's a whole, it's a never-ending cycle. But we've had the GM of the year 2 years, probably going to be 3 years in a row now. Jim Nils, I would trust him more than any other hockey GM that's ever existed. So
yeah, and honestly, with him, like, what does what's it called? What are the two contracts even like? How many more years do they have on those two guys?
I believe Ben's a free agent this year, technically.
So Ben can just walk and then.
But I don't imagine walking as an option, really. Because
he could run.
Yeah, I actually don't know if he can run at this point.
He can skate.
Hey,
free agent. I just don't imagine anyone's going to want to pay him what it's. The amount of money to make him want to leave.
No, I feel you. I think
his whole career.
Again, does he want the statue or not? You know.
Yeah. He's seemed to make it. No one seems worried about it, so then that makes me not worry about it. You know what I mean? Everyone in the media is kind of like, yeah, he's coming back. The question is, what's the number? And then Sagan will be. He's due $9 million next year. And again, with that body, I can't imagine someone taking that off of us without us having to unload someone else worth some
But that's it.
value.
That's the final.
9 million is a lot more in hockey than it is
Oh,
in.
so he's no. I hear you. I meant the years, not the.
Yeah, yeah. He's got one more year under contract.
So yeah,
Ben's got it this year.
age 35 season. He's is his last year in 26, 27. All right. Well, I mean that sucks, I guess, but ultimately, at least it's short term.
We're lucky that the guys in that position are still like worth having around.
Yeah.
And when Tyler still has flashes of being incredible, it's just the you don't want to pay him top dollar to maybe not play more than half a season.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And he's had an interesting career. He won the cup when he was with Boston, I think, as a rookie before he got traded here.
Yeah, no, I remember when we got him. I
So
thought it was supposed to. I mean, I really
it was
thought that was
huge. I
going to
mean,
be
it
the.
was a big building piece to get this team where it is now.
Yeah, I was foolish. I didn't really understand how hockey worked. I
I thought the
assumed
one guy was
because,
going to do it.
well, I assumed because Wayne Gretzky was so good at the same time Michael
Yeah,
Jordan
yeah,
was so
yeah.
good. I was like, okay, maybe these sports are similar. Again, I have no bearings of
That's fair.
understanding of hockey for most of my life. So I think at that point, I just genuinely didn't. When did he get traded here? That was,
18?
huh?
No, sorry.
Tyler
I mean,
Sagan? No, that was like when I
11,
was in
12
college or
is
maybe
what I meant to
earlier.
say.
I think that might have been
Uh,
2010 or 9.
One sec. I got you. 13.
13. Okay. Okay.
Maybe 14.
So a little bit
That little
after
pocket. But that was
college
kind of the
years.
kickstart of this team that we finally put together
Yeah.
over the years. COVID helped a lot. We got lucky with a bunch of that stuff. Especially, I think Wyatt Johnson in particular ended up having to play some tournaments here that got moved here because they could only play them here. So we got to see him, that kind of thing.
Need a few breaks. Now the only thing we need to do is work on getting some throwbacks in there. We just need to keep the merchandising kind of always flowing. Let's find some.
Unfortunately, and I don't know if it's a Fanatics thing, which it probably is, but it's also an NHL thing. The Stars merch just mostly sucks, unless it's just a regular jersey. Those are just jerseys. So
Yeah, we gotta step up the brand a little
I've
bit.
heard they were retiring this blackout behind me next year, which is too bad because I actually like that.
I don't mind it during the regular season. I don't want to see
like
that in the playoffs.
I don't like our logo.
Yeah,
It's
I think
very
that's fair.
generic feeling to me, but
It does feel more like Texas Stars, as
it's
in.
just hard to compete with this beauty.
I mean, I do agree. I do really think that that's a very nice one. We
I
should
don't know where
be.
my Mooderus is, but
It's also like don't be afraid to go back to throwback colors, Mavs especially.
they have like the retro throwback, which is like a mix hybrid thing. Oh my god! 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 Tyler Sagan.
Tyler Sagan. See, you ask and you shall receive. That's the money. There you go. That's
So
not
I was
that's
just
worth
talking
9 million
about
next
in
2
the middle of
years.
game one. For those of you watching after the fact, that's the point of the game we're at right now. So yeah, just to bring it back a little bit. So the Stars are playing the Oilers for the second straight year.
Yep.
When I was growing up, this was a perennial playoff matchup, Edmonton Dallas, and we beat them basically every time. So it's a fun little throwback to my youth rivalry. Edmonton's got some
Who
incredible players and
who was
big man
Edmonton rocking with
dry
back then?
style. Honestly, I don't even know because they were like the pluckier team. It's hard to imagine, but the Stars were the team that threw the money around before there was a salary cap when Tom Hicks owned them. We basically bought a competitive roster. Let's see, late '90s
As
Oilers.
one should.
I was more familiar with who Colorado. Okay, Messier. That's a name you probably know.
Yeah. I've heard his
You might have heard of Craig McTavish.
Mark Messier isn't he like one of the better New York players though? So is he not
He's
in
been
this?
everywhere, but I mean,
Oh, I
it's
see.
yeah, players move around. I don't know about everywhere, but players move around. Let's go with the 1999 Edmonton Oilers specifically.
So yeah, you're talking title window stars.
Oh my god, I can't type.
You're not talking about bottom of the barrel stars. League taking over stars.
Bill Guerin, being on that team is funny. He would end up being with the Stars later. Big names: Doug Waite, Bill Guerin, uh, Mike Greer, a bunch of people you've probably never heard of.
Yeah, Caesar's
But
probably more familiar.
yeah, yeah. If only he could.
Possibly.
If only he could hop in. Uh,
Hop in without a delay.
they were definitely the more of a Moneyball team at that point. Just
Yeah.
because Edmonton didn't have as much dough as we
When
did.
did they? When did they? Did they not get a big package for the Great One?
Not not as I mean it was good, but it wasn't as bad as the Luca trade was. I can't imagine anything worse than ever moving on from what
What are you talking
Gretzky
about?
was.
Luka trade's not even one of the worst trades of all time anymore.
What did I miss?
Huh? No. I just am laughing at the fact that like I don't know if anyone, I don't know how much sting the Luka trade is going to have in the years to come. You
I
know,
think there's a split in the fandom. I just don't know if it's the vocal minority or the vocal majority that I'm hearing from. So
and how long? And how long? You know, but that's a different sport for a different quarter.
yeah. But anyways, it's fun to see the Stars and Oilers play again. It feels right. They're really good. Obviously, they beat us last year. They're
Yep.
looking to be Canada's
Unfortunately,
first Cup
motherfuckers.
winner in forever, which
Yeah,
has
can't let
still
it
been a
happen.
hilarious bit.
At the same time, if they beat us, I will have to root for them because it still gives me like a lot of problem to think about Florida and Carolina just in Tampa just throwing titles around.
I would be happy for Carolina, especially since Logan Stankoven's there.
Yeah,
But I will be torn if I have to watch Edmonton and Florida. I'll be rooting for the Meteor.
it's just tough because I feel like the Canadians deserve it, and obviously it'd be funnier if it's
There's
not a.
Canadians on every team that's ever won the cup, so let's just.
No, I mean but the fan like
I know.
imagine if the Raptors were just winning title after title after title. You know what I mean? We're gonna have a similar conversation with the MVP.
That's
You
the
know,
problem is
people get a
the
little
the
defensive around in these.
numbers is the numbers are weird because Canada invented the sport. They've only got what 5 teams in the NHL, 6 teams.
No, but and honestly, the fucking Florida Carolina uh, tandem has just been tearing shit up in Vegas, and it's just Dallas. It's
Carolina's fun.
hilarious,
I think
bro.
you would enjoy watching Carolina. Just the way they play hockey is more fun. They're just rowdy and
Okay, yeah, I do like that.
everywhere.
I do want hockey players to be
They play
more of a
with different.
stereotype.
They play with a different energy. Florida is the dirtiest team in the league right now, and that's why I don't want to see them do good.
I do think that's fair. At the same time, I think that they have trashy colors, which is so perfect for
I
Florida.
I
And I
used to like
think
the franchise, but this team that's playing right now, too many obvious elbows to the head that I can't abide by,
no, and I think that that's probably the most Florida thing they can do.
which is hilarious because again, it's like 80% Canadians.
And they're Miami's team, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to embrace the culture. You know, I think our stars, they've always embraced the culture, maybe too much. You
They're
know,
like, oh, we don't have to try. That's why Ken Hitchcock used to say he was so mean to the team here. He's like, because there's no one else. There's no one else to do it. Like, if these
No,
guys are in Toronto, the media would be doing that part for me.
yeah, and it's also just like, boy, is there a good time here to be had for these young men in their decision makings and in their incomes and whatnots. You know
It's
what I mean?
confusing to me because I know a lot of people like coming through. I guess because I'm not a strip club guy, that takes away a lot of the.
I don't think it's just strip clubs at all. I think it's just the nightclub scene in Dallas has
Well, I
always
mean,
been
yeah,
very lucrative
yeah.
and very poppin' and diverse as far
I
as like.
equate those things. I guess I probably shouldn't, but
I mean, maybe they do, but
it feels
if
like
I
a lot
was
of
to bet,
crossover between people who want to go to nightclubs and people who go to strip clubs. But
if I was to bet, that would be a situation because there's usually stars and rangers that you see cutting the line or getting VIP sections around here. At least back
anyways,
in my
yeah,
running days.
I've never waited in line to get inside of any place like that. I have no idea.
Never wanted to wait in line to get inside of any place like that, but unfortunately, I have.
They just let me in. I'm kidding. I didn't go. I used to have to sneak into, was it Flips? Because I didn't have a valid ID. Uh, hop the fence onto the
Flips?
patio.
That's wild.
No kidding.
I got kicked out of there more than once for doing that.
No kidding. No kidding.
What the Rangers just do.
What did? Oh, that's a burger for your ass.
Another one.
Oh, another one.
Another one.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, Stars Oilers, very fun. Obviously, we'll be following it. I don't like the national broadcast, but a new. I'll tell you guys about this later. But there's a fun way to watch Game 4 on the horizon potentially.
Interesting.
Just
Scandalous.
just something different for local, mostly for local people.
Interesting. Okay.
But
FCC, don't listen to this.
it's not illegal.
All right.
It's just something that don't worry. It's fine. It's not a
Yeah.
big deal.
Okay. Yeah, it's not illegal, but don't worry about it. Yeah, I get it.
It's not a traditional broadcast of the game.
So you've given me a little bit of touch of Florida, Carolina. Florida beat the piss out of Carolina in game 1.
Yeah. Carolina's now lost. I think it's 13 consecutive games in the conference finals, which stretches back
It's not ideal.
to like 08 or something.
Holy shit.
Well, I mean, 13 games means you've been swept the last 3 times, and now you lost game 1. Maybe not swept. At least swept in the last 2.
You've not been having
You
a good
lost
time.
4 straight to lose the one 3 times ago. But I don't know. I don't know enough about those teams. Toronto really shit the bed against Florida real bad. They were up 2-0, and then at home they were up 2-0 in game 3, and it all went to hell. They lost games 5 and 7 at home, both games 6-1. And Florida was being dirty, but Toronto just had nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Honestly, I do find myself rooting for Toronto with no good reason, just because I feel like.
Well, you got a kinship there, so.
Yeah, but I know that there's
But at least your team's won.
That's something to. But I mean,
your
for
team
me,
sadly won, like within 40 more years of when they're 30 more years of when they last won.
But to me, I just feel bad for when things take when certain things take too long, right? So Alabama was down very badly, and then Nick Saban brought them back a little too much. But it was cool.
Right.
It was cool to see. It was cool to see, Alabama. It would be cool to see Texas live up to their potential, right?
It's impossible. It's impossible to talk to any college football fan and get a true understanding of what a blue blood really is, because they're like, "Well, my school is obviously a blue blood. We've just had 80 terrible seasons."
No, you just got to ask somebody who's grown up their whole life in college football country and enjoys just awful amounts of. Honestly, I prefer college football so much more to the NFL at this point. I'm telling you, Bama's one of those ones. If they've got awful racist history, that is usually a blue blood in football. Unfortunately, that's just true. We know that to be true pretty much everywhere in college football.
You're missing out on how many schools have an awful racist history.
I know. I just wanted to be a little bit more of an asshole to Bama at that one.
And it's a very good Gillian Keys skit. If you've never seen it,
I have not.
I'll send it to you later about the school being forced to integrate.
But like I said,
a 3-minute version of Remember the Titans that's more funny than sad and dramatic.
I see. But like I said, I like when the big franchises at least compete or win, not necessarily a ton, just like every now and again when they've been without for a while.
The Lakers have done a good job. They'll sprinkle in a 3-peat, go away. For
Lakers really haven't had a big enough drought for me to feel that way. I feel like the Yankees, I'm starting to feel that way for. Not today, obviously.
Lakers would have been, what, mid-'80s to, 99 or 2000, I mean?
Yeah, there's too much there, though. You get most of the vast majority of the 80s. You have to wait just a little bit of the 90s before Shaq and Kobe. And then Shaq and Kobe blows up, and it's almost a turnaround cycle within 2 years. And then the Kobe thing goes bad for a while, but then LeBron evens it out, and now look at you. You know what I mean? It ain't that hard of a life if we're being honest. So bad for Toronto Maple Leafs mostly because not only do they carry their own burden, but they also sort of carry the Canadian burden as well, It's like, oh, so you guys not only haven't won for your city, but you honestly haven't been helping this Canadian versus America title conversation either, So...
Sorry.
I like that. I like that propaganda a little bit. I don't need the Maple Leafs to come back. I just want to.
Really
it's interesting.
It's really funny for the Leafs to keep losing I would rather some other Canadian team get one just keep it going, keep the streak alive.
I think the reason that they're most like the Cowboys, though, at least recently, is they don't even get to that next
No,
tier
it's
or
the
the
second round.
precipice.
The
It's
second
it's
round and
like
out.
almost always quickly.
But the way they're most like them is being the number one franchise valuation and all that.
Yeah, of course. The
That's
money, the shit talk. Money, Manchester United's also in that conversation.
because they would laugh at Cowboys fans who are like, we haven't won in 30 years. They're like, bitch, it's been 60.
Oh, Jesus.
It's been 60, and don't they have like one of the best prospects that's come up in the last decade? Didn't they get one of the?
Sure, they always have somebody.
But I mean,
Austin
like when you get like
Matthews.
one of the top guys, right?
Austin Matthews, who hasn't performed in the playoffs, what is a top guy?
Oh, I see.
Every
Okay.
year in every sport, they're like, this is a generational talent. They can't be every year.
Not necessarily. I do feel like we're having some funny conversations about Cooper Flag that is a little. I think it's a little more reactionary to how bad last year was, and a little bit forgetful of how incredible 2 years ago was. And so I do think a little bit of that is just in the moment.
It's just
The shiny toy syndrome.
The 24-hour media cycle is
Yeah.
just everything has to be bigger and better all the time. So
At all times. So yeah, I mean, Dallas Stars hockey, we hope for the best. We hope that the Dallas Stars aren't writing a chapter in choke history because we don't need that in Dallas, frankly. I think that you could.
We got through the one team, at least in Winnipeg, that could have. I guess Vegas could have if they had moved on. But we got home ice now for at least this round. So.
And look, I think what the Stars did to even be in this position is a good thing, right?
We did go without our best player from January 28th to the end of the season.
We were awful for weeks at a time. That was
Especially
incredible.
the last 9, 10 days.
That was incredible.
Rangers did. Just like
and
to point
so-
out again.
No, it's true. And I don't know who Sam Haggerty is, but I'm enjoying his company a little bit now. Oh, that's an upper decker. So yeah,
Or the year we won the World Series, we lost all the way through the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
I didn't mean to bring Sam Haggerty into this conversation.
Well, he just hit a double decker. So it happened right as you were talking about the Texas Rangers. So
Mickey Mouse Park. I'm not going.
It is a Mickey Mouse Park, but
Not
Jake
bad.
Berger just hit 2 bullshit balls as home runs today. So I love this ballpark. Anyway, yeah. So good luck to the Dallas Stars. We do think that this is the season of breakthrough.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to not be confident unless you're just saying they don't win every year, so you can't believe in them. But they're as good a team as any team out there. Right now, they're playing very well.
It's been a lot of teasing, is how I would say, over the last 5 to 6 year period, however long it's been. I know there was like a finals appearance and then a drop and then back into contention.
Yeah, and then obviously the finals appearance is the bubble year for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 years, getting back to the Western, Final Four team. The last 2 years, now the last 3 years. I know people want championships or
It's good.
bust, but there have been some down times where I would have dreamed for something like this. So
It's good. I think it's just I think there's always going to be this issue with Dallas as a sports city because if you make a movie about professional sports and it would almost always have a champion or one of the more revered teams come out of Texas, right? You just think that that's a state that cares about professional sports more than anything else. And the reality is that it maybe cares about a lot of like youth sports more than anything else. The pipeline gets kind of watered down.
great
the
soccer programs around here.
Oh, shit gets pretty watered down the more you go up in the chain in Texas. So I do think there's just always a little bit of can one of these teams ever get close to dynastic?
I just realized that earlier I said McKinnon when I meant to say McDavid, and I realized that Nate McKinnon plays for Colorado, and Connor McDavid is the next one, quote unquote.
Yeah, and honestly, so we're about at the 5-minute warning for the first quarter. I think Connor McDavid would be a good place to finish this out. I mean, this is a legacy-defining run for him, especially if he can bring the Canadians a cup.
Yeah, he's still young enough that this isn't
How old? You know?
early 30s, I would assume, right?
Damn, he's been around that long? 97. Holy shit, that means he's old.
He's 28. Sorry. So he's still got another 5
He
10
was
years.
born in the 1900s.
Yeah, I was 6. So
No, I
he's-
know.
this
If you
isn't,
haven't heard
know,
that one yet, just
but
get
again-
ready for it.
Again, this is, I mean, just like for any of these huge players, this is, how many chances are you going to get? So he does have that going on. But he also plays in Edmonton, where it's Canada, but it's not Toronto.
No, but it's also it's legacy, right?
Yeah, they're in a weird spot. I don't think many places could survive losing. I don't know how Edmonton survived losing Gretzky. They can't even keep teams anywhere else in Canada.
Because they have sick throwbacks. Like, what do you think the Charlotte Hornets exist for? To sell throwbacks.
So Jordan has something to do.
Mike no longer runs that team. It is no longer Michael Jordan's team.
Does he have a stake?
He does have a stake, but is no longer his team. He specifically got rid of his.
So just give me the check.
Yes, exactly. He specifically went to that version of ownership.
Now he's on NBC.
And now we have Michael Jordan. Not all the
Special
time.
Consultant. We'll see what
With special consultant Michael Jordan plugging his race car brand is my guess.
Makes sense. Anyways, the Oilers they're top heavy stacked. Their defense is consistent and solid. This is going to be the toughest series we've played so far. No doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have much else. Do y'all have any last minute questions about either how we beat the Jets or
No.
Dog Cam?
No.
Okay.
I think at this point, like I said, I hope they can at least get to the finals in this season. Taking it step by step. I just want to see this continued growth. The Stars, I feel bad for the Stars because Luka trade happened. Stars, we love you. NBA draft lottery happens. There was a lot of fickleness that just went from YouTube catching up to Stars games to YouTube Cooper Flag highlights. And that's unfortunate,
The
but
good
I hope they
thing
can win
is-
these groups back.
The Stars have a big enough built-in already fan base that they're not going to hurt from not getting all the Mavs over.
No, they're not going to hurt, but I feel bad for them because I wanted them to seize the moment, and this was a moment for them.
Them winning
They want to
will
seize
go
the
a long
moment.
way. Yeah, them winning will go a long way for the kids in town.
That should be
No,
my
they
rapper
will.
name.
Getting to the next round. This is the round where a lot of people are still too casual to actually be knowing what's happening. You get to the finals, that's where you'll get real,
And
that's
Stanley
where you get
Cup
the rare
finals.
eyes.
No one's NBA finals. It's an interesting talk. We only
It
have a couple
depends on what
minutes left.
teams.
But,
It definitely
calling
depends on what
There's
teams.
something about the Stanley Cup that I think is more revered just in your mind than hearing the Larry O'Brien, which is different in my head. Like winning the NBA Finals is awesome.
Well, because they
I
call it
care
Lord
about-
Stanley's
but I-
Cup. They don't. They call
I
it
don't care
Lord
about the
Stanley's
Larry
Cup. Of
O'Brien.
course, it's gonna sound. Larry O'Brien was just a fucking old white guy who ran the league the first time.
It's better
Or
than
when it
calling
was,
it the freaking Commissioner's Cup.
yeah.
All right,
So-
that'll wrap up hockey. The Stars should be through Game 4 the next time we get together. So, ideally, we
Sweep.
and it's over. Or
We're gonna sweep 'em.
3-1, but I will take 2-2 and into the 4.
2-2, baby.
5, I mean. I'll take 2-2 if that's what we can get.
We just need to finish off game one.
All right. I think I was quiet enough, but I haven't been delayed a little bit at all. I don't think so.
Well,
Beautiful.
the delay is when we say something to you.
Well, no. But like,
No, it's
I
working.
experience a little
that was
bit.
good. That was good.
No, this is good.
I experience a little bit of a delay whenever
Right.
that happens to you from me.
We'll cut it here.
Where,
They saying hockey.
let's do that. Hockey.
Hockey